This portion of the 006 podcast is brought to you by Uber. Download the app on your iTunes or Android mobile devices and start riding or driving today with Uber. See website for further details. And now, here he is, your host, ladies and gentlemen, 006, Alec Troffer.
Yeah. Big one today, guys. Big show. Welcome, guys.
Good to be here again, Dad. How are you?
You know, I'm doing good. How you doing over there, Sal?
Oh, I'm great.
Always great to have Sally. She's doing her thing. Yeah, Yaki Najiu is our guest, guys.
Yeah, actually, really fascinating sit down that we had with Yaki over the phone.
Yeah, we get into a few things. From my perspective, I was just trying to, sort of clear the air, clear any misconception, that was ever put out there. I think that this is a deal that we did maybe like 3 weeks ago or something like that.
It's been a while.
Yeah, but Yaki's our guest, and I hope you guys enjoy this show this week.
Well, speaking of big things, you've actually been doing some pretty big things, Alec. I mean, you were on Millennium's podcast. How did you feel about being on there, and what's your feedback?
Well, it was a pretty cool deal, and of course, Mel's a big fan. He listens to the show. He actually called me, for a favor, and he's. I'll never forget it. He calls me over the phone. He's like, "Hey, Alec, I need a guest for a podcast."
He sounds nothing like
I'm serious.
Please, I need you to come in and do a podcast. Would you please be a special guest?
I'm like, of course I'm gonna do it. Are you kidding?
Oh man, well, we're always we always enjoy having fun with Millennium, and I can't wait till we actually get him here on this show.
Yeah, but as far as the feedback, it's been great feedback. He's starting to catch on. A little bit by a little bit every day. And he's got a different style. He's not like Justin and these other guys. He's got a different style, and he caters more, towards a newer crowd. Like I said, this is like a last minute deal with me and him. He needed the favor, so I said, of course. If I had time, I would have, probably, did a podcast with him and, gather you guys up. But, it's fine. I think it came out fine. I felt real good about it.
That's really good. And talk about a news-heavy week, Dad. It's time to get into the 006 top stories. All right.
Let's hear it, kid.
The first story is we came out with something to chat with. Of course, myself and Big Trunks D-Matic were a part of our first podcast. We were successful. I think we did about an hour or so, and I think that we've got something coming up. I've talked to him about new episodes, or later episodes. We got like an idea of where we're gonna go. So I'm pretty excited about it.
That's pretty good. I like the idea that you're going to be sitting under the learning tree of Big Trunks. Make no mistake about it, guys. Say whatever you want to about Big Trunks. But, Big Trunks has stayed true to who he is. Or, to who he's been, all these years. And it's like, you get a new crowd, these kids, a lot of times they don't know how to, pay respect. They don't understand the legends enough. They think about it, so it's all what high fly this and, who's the most popular here. And that's not the deal. Big Trunks is as old school as they come. And yeah, he can't do the things that he used to. But let me tell you something. He knows how to pop a crowd. And if ever need be, he's definitely going to be in an XTV show. He's going to be there.
Absolutely. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Big Trunks D-Matic.
Of course. So that's a good thing for you, for you, Nick.
Yeah, of course. There's been like sort of a debate about exactly what platform it should be. There's certain people that feel like the XTV East Coast shouldn't be so podcast heavy. But they were thinking about putting it on a different platform. Maybe a XTV podcast channel. That has all the XTV podcasts.
I think that's a good idea. I think that you can have a place, that's strictly for, XTV talk. The East and West Coast, guys, they both, have different perspectives, and it's a very diverse situation that you're talking about there. You know what I mean? Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. It's a very diverse situation.
So yeah, I mean that's the reason why it hasn't come out yet. But at the same time, we're trying to get episodes in the can. So that's what we're going to be doing moving forward. Top story number 2. NXTV Live in Brooklyn has been bumped, guys. Of course, this was never announced, and I think that the reason that pay-per-views don't get announced ahead of time, or that like you don't see them get announced like actually on the pay-per-view, a lot like WWE does, is because of situations like this. And like since 4 weeks has passed since Undeniable, which is what would have been like a 4 weeks of TV, where they were leading up to Live in Brooklyn. Now they're just gonna go straight to Modern Day Classic, and from Modern Day Classic to what's it called? Iron Sharpens Iron. Wow, they're skipping a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, it like I said, it wasn't announced. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you call the pay-per-view. All that matters is the venues, and really, I mean, who cares? It's not not much of a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Poor guys in Brooklyn. They thought that they were going to get a show. I don't know where Modern Day Classic is going to be from. Maybe they'll do it there though. Who knows? It might end up in Brooklyn. Yeah, why not? Little things like that don't matter. Whatever you call the pay-per-view, who cares? What the fans want is a good build, and some good stories. It's all about those stories that you're telling in between there that are leading up to the show. So whether you call it Brooklyn or, Rumble at the River. No, I'm serious. Whatever you call it.
The river.
I'm serious. Whatever you want to call it, let's just go for it here.
Yeah, I just thought that was pretty big. I mean, like they had plans, that they were going to do this, and then they do, it just gets bumped. Like, you never hear about that. That's what I'm saying. Like, pay-per-views just don't get dropped. And what was cool about it, I guess, since the cat's out of the bag, is that like, they were going to go back to 2K17, and like it was going to be like a tradition, because that was because 2K17 has the first Brooklyn venue, and and then like next year they would go back to this game because it has the Brooklyn too. So they were going to just like go with the years. But I mean, I guess it's sort of a blessing in disguise.
Who cares, Nick? Get better stories. What's next?
I think you guys are going to be interested in this. Sorry about that. Nicki Minaj versus Yossi. The press conference took place this past Saturday. It was filmed, and it's in the can. And I think it's going to be showing this coming weekend on Twitch and on YouTube, the press conference. And I believe that immediately following is going to be the actual matchup. It's an Iron Man match, and a lot of things came out, including the fact that Yossi announced officially her retirement after this match.
Yeah, well, I wasn't there at the press conference or anything like that. I've been hearing rumblings of this and that, but I was around. And things got pretty heated between Yosi and the Killer. Oh man,
Wow.
they got really heated because you know, Killer's being Killer. Saying the things that he's saying. And the truth is, it's what everybody's thinking. He's the only one that's gonna go out there and say it. So that's the deal with that. But I mean, it's true. I mean, Yosi, it's to me, in my opinion, it's been time for her to hang it up. And hats off to her, for making that decision. It's time. It's time. A lot of guys got to wake up. It's time.
High stakes. I mean, I guess wow. Like for her to go out there in the Iron Man match, if she can't win, and then this is going to be live. I think it's going to be reported to be on Twitch. It's going to be recorded.
Well, yeah. Here's the deal, Nick. Guys, Yosi, the best of luck to you. If you hear this, you better be focused. You better be focused. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, she has been through it all, and I mean, everybody's thinking the worst. Yeah, I mean, because when you look at it, I mean, everybody talks about it. The first match, when we first discovered that Nicki Minaj was a downloadable character, and then the resemblance is, what had everybody like, wow. And then the second match took place because Yosi felt like Nicki Minaj cheated. Everybody sort of agreed with it at the time, and we were behind Yosi. And then they say that she cheated again. Then in the third match, XTPO3, they finally have it. It's the final confrontation. That's what Yosi said herself, the final act. But that was not to be because or her win wasn't to be because she lost there. And then more recently, this past summer, she lost against Nicki Minaj when they just randomly ended up against each other in a tournament that took place live. She lost in a squash match, and a lot of people feel like Yosi sort of falls under pressure when it comes to being live.
Well, the pressure's gonna be on. The pressure's gonna be on, kid. Everybody's gonna be watching this. This is gonna be huge. What'd you say this Saturday?
This weekend.
That's well. Listen, whatever. I'm gonna tell you. You better be ready, kid. You better be ready.
Yeah, so that's where it is. I mean, she's looking to rack up some wins up against Nicki Minaj. And finally, top story number 4. Today is the 9th of October, and WWE 2K19 is out officially for the public, and we have a copy. It's been purchased. It was just purchased earlier today. We got the downloadable copy. Typed in the promo code or whatever the case was, and we're locked and loaded in. So I think that there might be a crossover, sooner than you guys think, or sooner than guys may realize.
Well, that's always the case. And at the end of the day, there still shouldn't be like, a rush put on things. I mean, because here's the deal, you guys, there's so many guys on the roster that have to be accounted for, and if you try to just jump over there, real quickly, you're gonna miss out on a whole lot of would have been stars. Does that make sense, guys? Oh yeah. There's so many guys. I mean, you just spent the past year, building guys, and you gotta give other guys time. I mean, you gotta give other guys time.
One thing that I find interesting is that like this time last year, when we were trying to get the game and everything, Akira Ray had a championship title shot. Well, Tia Ray had a title shot to fight up against Jackie Briggs for the NXT Women's Championship, but The match was supposed to happen at Iron Sharpens Iron, and it almost didn't happen because we didn't well, Tia Ray wasn't signed until the very last minute. She was going to be replaced by Akira, and it was going to be Akira versus Jackie Z in her place because they were both number one contenders since they did so well as tag team champions. And now this year, you turn around and look at this. Like Akira's the NXT Women's Champion, and uh, um, Tia Nick, thanks. She holds the most prestigious title on the women's roster in the main roster. So I mean, that's pretty huge. Like when you look at what they've done in like a whole year. Yeah, that's really cool. All those downloaded characters. They're playing an important role. So you guys, better take your time and get in contact with some of these guys. Does that make sense?
Well, Lynette's son Barry, she brought him a new game, and he does universe mode. And she had said that he didn't start his season until the whole next year. Like he really waited until the spring.
Wow, you see that? He goes by the seasons. You see, and that's and that's what makes sense. I mean, you have to get on some kind of a regimen. You have to do what makes sense. You can't just be all, jumping out here, and just being frivolous, guys. All right. So that's is that all your stories, Nick? Yeah, that was the final story. So yeah, I mean, there it is, guys. Hope you guys enjoy the show. We're gonna be signing off, and thanks for watching, guys. Keep troughing.
The 006 podcast.
Guys, you gotta understand, there's a time in your life where you have to look in the mirror and say, hey, who am I living for? Who am I doing this for? What do I like? What do I want out of this? Because here's the deal, guys. A lot of these people out here that are telling you to go this way or that, they haven't figured it out for themselves. You take good advice with a grain of salt, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's got to live with your decisions. You reach down, you use everything that you have, you give it all, and through all the dirt, through all the turmoil, you're going to come out shining like a diamond. I guarantee you. I'm Alec Troffer, and that's how you trough.
The 006 podcast.
How's it going, champ?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going good over here. I'm happy to talk to you. Lord knows, we've been down the road and back and forth so many times.
Sure, guys. If the feeling's mutual, guys. you know, people have always got the friggin' wrong idea about you and I, and I think that it's always just been the fact that we both have such strong personalities, and but this at this point we've grown and matured, and I think that now's the time, a good platform as any, to just set everything straight, guys.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, hey, and I mean, there was a time, that I was just, I was out of my mind. Let's be honest. I was out of my mind. I used to just let my emotions just completely take control of me, and I would get out of hand. And I want to be the first one, Yaki, and I say this sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I apologize.
Oh, come on, guys.
No, seriously. I mean, because a lot of that was me. A lot of that was me. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes,
I mean, it's like, you never went out there, shooting on me or saying anything. I mean, there was the reefer and liquor deal, but I mean, that was for entertainment. You and I both knew that we had to do something. We had to pull something out of that. Does that make sense, Yaki?
Uh, sure, guys. Yeah, and it's funny you mention that because there was some tension there. Okay, sitting there at the table, and I was a bit confused because I wasn't sure if there was a real issue there, or if I was just a little how'd you say, nervous about the whole thing, because I mean we're sitting there on set. They call us first at random, and of course, you and I, we've, like you say, we've done this, time and time again, but that was a new deal. Okay, and it was we were put in a position where we could freaking flop there, guys, because that anytime that you go out there and you go on a whim, and you just let it all fly, that's how a whole lot of things get started, guys. You can look at the traditional rivalries here in XTV. Um, one that comes to mind is the freaking TRA thing, and that happened right here, guys. And freaking Nick, all he was doing was freaking reading off the prompt there, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I had my notes, and then I just, I was talking, and Dixie said what she said, and she said what she felt. That was great. The whole thing was great.
I mean, but that's how things happen, though, guys. And then that's how things they get out of hand.
That's a good point, Yaki. It's something that a lot of people don't really notice or talk about, but a whole lot of things can be avoided, with just people being able to understand, where people are coming from. It's everybody's a character here. This thing is built on characters, and unique individuals, and it's built on real life, and everyday occurrences. And so you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that a lot.
Sure, guys. More than that, but you know, I just hope that people, will get there. I think that as far as those sorts of altercations lately, they've been minimal. Okay. So I think that we're going in the right direction.
Well, I think that to me, one of the most unique careers, and I've listened to a lot of podcasts, with you, but I think that you've got one of the most unique careers, just based on in terms of like how you are able to reinvent yourself, like era after era, like every time that you think that Yaki has, he's had his time, he's did his thing, and that was his time. He's like a time stamp, or a staple in time. But you always just come back, and now you're just known for doing something else. Like, for example, doing color commentary. I mean, just like, how do you do that? Like, what is your mindset in life, and being able to just transition and do different things that way?
Uh, well, guys, I gotta be honest, guys. I'm not really, any different from anybody else. People always look at me like, I'm, and I'll admit I'm rather eccentric. Okay, people are, everybody's not, taking the risk, jumping from building to building, jump through a glass window just to try to swanton bomb, but the glass was safe. It's safe glass. Trust me, guys. There was no blood involved or anything like that. It was just done for the shot, so I can jump out the window doing the swanton bomb, having that glass raining over the top of me for the sake of the freaking science video. I can't remember who sings that song, but I digress. But that's just the deal, guys. I'm free, okay, and I don't worry about I live in the moment, okay, and I don't really worry about consequences, or how things are going to be reacted to, guys. It's a lot like what Alec was saying, being led by your emotions. But if you can find a balance in there somewhere, and Lord knows I haven't, but if you could, I think that you'd be fine. You'd be all right. And I think, Alec, I feel like you found that there somewhat, guys.
Well, I've been, and for the past, I don't know, about 12 years now or so. What's it been, like 12 years, Sally?
Yeah, I mean, it's been about that.
I've just changed my life. I've changed my life over to Christ. And it's a whole different perspective. Does that make sense?
Sure, guys. And it's whatever works for you. Guys. Everybody's got their way. Everybody's got their chi, as they say. But Nick, as far as to answer your question, to be honest, guys, I'd said this to old Joe at one point in time. There was times where I felt like I was going to fall off. Okay, there was times there when I didn't know how to reinvent myself. Okay, where I was a little. I felt stagnated, and it was never a point in time where people were dogging Yaki or nothing like that. But at the same time, there was a point in time where I myself was doubting myself. Okay, because I just didn't know which way to go. It's like what you said. I mean, I done freaking Sonic the Hedgehog, and all the different versions that I had done. Okay, Yaki Heroes, and but it did get to a point where there's a fork in the road, and it's like, well, hell, back. I have to give you a perfect example. Back in 2013, that's where I consider retiring, guys. I considered retiring.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, I don't mean like retire and just be here. I mean, freaking leaving XTV, guys. I was going to freaking leave. I was going to just freaking disappear. And, people be looking up, looking up around. Hey, where's Yaki been? I haven't seen Yaki in a long time. I was going to pull one of those things. And, another thing that you were pretty classic at, Alec.
It's not easy. It's not easy at all. I mean, especially back then. I mean, it's not a problem now. I just come around, for the podcast, and if I see James or something like that. But for Bobby, for Killa, Justin, Big Trunks, forget about it. Forget it.
Yeah, but I was thinking about just doing that, guys. I was really not happy with my character and just where I was. I just felt like I felt old. I felt old and dated and played out because one thing that I like to try to do is just stay ahead of the curve. And and to me, from my viewpoint, where the way I saw myself, in the next few years was falling off. Like I said, guys, like I said, the people hadn't, you know, uh, you know, forgotten about me yet. They hadn't, been throwing stones yet. But I felt like they would have if I had not changed and I had run out of ideas.
Well, I mean, like what inspires these new ideas? I mean, what is the aha moment that makes you just just say, "Oh, I know what it is. I'll just do this now."
It takes a while. Okay, it takes a while. Until you figure it out. And in the meantime, I just I just live an adventurous life, anyways. I look for adventure. But in terms of XTV, uh, there's just there's always I figure because XTV goes through these phases, guys. There was a phase, and here, I mean, we don't have to go all the way back, but we can just go back to the battle rap era. That's probably about freaking 2012 or 2013. During that time period, and here's a time where I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't really feeling real good about who I was as a character, and but you'll hear me in the background of some of those. So and I was fine with that. I was well. That's my place. Okay. People are familiar. What's Yaki back there saying? I'll be in the audience, and if you go back and hear some of those recordings, you hear me, and then you'd hear people mention me because that's during the time where people were getting. You talk about people like Lely and Big Trap and Steve-O, and these kids were Lil LT and these kids uh, they were new. Okay, these were brand new guys, and this is the time where Tavari Howard, God bless him, uh, was the commissioner, and he was trying to advance XTV. Okay, he was trying to give a shot to the new blood. He got it. Terry Williams, he gets it. Fresh faces. Let's switch things up. Things get old real fast, and so it's time to make new stars and make new situations. And a lot of that old stuff it gets played. So my point is that sometimes you have to figure out what the wave is in XTV and how you fit into that wave. Okay, if that makes sense. What's the style? What's going on? What's the genre? What's the buzz? What's everybody talking about? And present day, this is what it is. Who's to say a year, 2 or 3, from now, what the XTV World Channel is going to look like. There was a time, during that same time period, in fact, when they were doing the breaks, guys, these guys, they thought that freaking, that was just going to, that's how that channel was going to be, okay? That it was going to be, a wrestling channel. It was specifically XTV East Coast, okay? This here channel here. They thought that the XTV East Coast was, going to be a wrestling channel, okay? And you see how that turned out, okay? Now it's known for these podcasts and things of that nature. So this is where people come to get their dirt. The lowdown on XTV.
Okay.
Isn't that great though, guys?
Yeah, fascinating perspective, Yaki.
Hey there, Sally. I didn't even get a freaking chance to speak to you there, bud. I went down a freaking rabbit hole, but how you doing there?
I'm doing great. It's wonderful to hear your voice.
Yeah. I mean, an all-time favorite, and I mean, even your character though, Yaki. I mean, not just your look, always changes. I mean, you went through the colorful gimmick. If people could see, your '06 stuff, holy cow. The way that we can record these things, like, man, I mean, I think to me, I'm a fan of that, Yaki. That's some of your best stuff. I mean, it's absolutely insane.
Props to Yaki. I think somebody that everybody loves.
Well, sure, guys. Well, I appreciate that, guys. Uh, you know, of course, I was a little younger at that time. People get mad at me because I tell them that I'm 50. They're like, freaking Yaki, you ain't 50 years old, but I mean, that's just a fact. Okay, you gotta understand. Hell, I was a little young, spry 20-year-old when we were first starting this thing out. Okay, I was probably in my teens or something like that, or another, back in the early '90s. But I mean, that's just the way it is, guys. And people they would get caught up, Alec, in that the way I'd wear the face paint and all this. And I just seen Justin the other day. We were sitting there watching New Japan, and Justin sits there. He goes, "Justin Liger ain't aged a bit." He said he ain't freaking aged a bit. But but that's the whole deal, And if I'm not mistaken, Justin Liger's probably in his 50s somewhere. So that's just the deal. Sometimes people forget, that ain't the deal, and they see me with the wrinkles, on my face, and they're like, I wouldn't say wrinkles, but the age there. And they go, "Hey man, you're not that old." Hell yeah, I am. What do you think? I'm some 20-year-old. I mean, I've done. Look at my timeline. Yeah, that much time has passed.
Sorry about that. People forget, Yaki. People forget.
Yeah, and I understand it. Because time gets away from you. And you know, and Lord knows, guys, this year alone, there's been so many reminders, not just in the wrestling community, but, in so many other communities. You're reminded that, there's a time limit on this. Guys, that there is a cap. Okay? And I think that's what hurts the most, when people, look over your body of work and they've seen, that you've done, all this, and they start to see you, and they realize, hey, this ain't the same guy we have that we've had all these years, and no disrespect to good old JR even, but I was listening to him on the one of his podcasts recently, and I hear with JR, okay, that spunky, this is good old JR, that's long past. And if you go back and listen to the Mae Young Classic, guys, you know, that he ain't gonna get it. Okay, he's still one of the greatest play-by-play guys of all time, if not the greatest. But in any event, age has caught up to him. And I ain't saying that he's ain't healthy or anything like that. He's actually getting his life right. He's actually eating healthier, and he's getting on the ball with that. So
I talk about it all the time, Yaki. And Yeah, I mean, one thing that you've managed to do is keep yourself, in phenomenal shape. I mean, but it's like you said. I mean, you live a life of adventure.
Your
I mean,
metabolism must be sky high.
Sure, guys. I mean, every now and again, I have a run with Millennium. I'm surprised he'd even come back out with me after some of the freaking ventures that we've went through. But he's fascinating. And people see. I scare a whole lot of people off, to be honest. Just with the lifestyle that I do live. Because like I said, I am adventurous, and still to this day, guys. I told the story on another podcast. Vanguard One. I seen him. Okay.
Wait, hold on now, guys. Now I seen Vanguard 1, guys, and there in 5 o'clock traffic. He led me to the freaking Hardy compound. Okay, and he was in distress. He was trying to tell me about Jeff, guys. Okay, so but of course I got arrested.
this was a story that broke last year. Yaki was found on the found trespassing on the.
I wasn't
Hardy
trespassing,
compound.
guys. The freaking Vanguard 1 led me there, guys. Okay, yeah, I'm sitting there. I'm stuck in 5 o'clock traffic. He led me to the freaking Hardy compound, and I thought that Jeff was in distress. That's what freaking Vanguard was trying to tell him. But turned out Jeff was fine. Rib was on me, and Jeff gets pissed. Okay, in fact, it's all that girl Billy's fault. Cause he's rooming with her.
Well, why don't you tell why don't you tell everybody your thoughts on that, Yaki?
Well, I mean, me and Jeff is fine. He just, always acts different when he gets around Corn Billy.
A lot of people, may be thrown off Yaki by I think the words that you use, I want to kind of get people up to speed on why you say coin so much, because you don't use it to bleep out your words. Where does that come from?
Yeah, at this point, guys, and I try to not say it that much. I try to be more mindful of it, but that comes from the early days of my show. When I was developing, AVW would for one reason or another will call the rings that I would collect there on my TV show, Sonic the Hedgehog. He would call those rings. He would call them coins. It's probably because he was used to the coins from Mario Brothers, guys. But he would call them coins. Okay, and for some reason or another, he wanted to make me have a language, my own language, which was coin. And it was nothing more than me going clink 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 clink, which nobody freaking understood. Clink 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 clink. You freaking understand that, guys? So that was the deal with that, and then because I freaking knew that it didn't make any sense. Because coins go clink, okay? So, when you drop them, yes, okay? So, I made my mind up, well, I was, if he's so, gung-ho about my language being coin, I would just say coin this and coin that, okay? So, it's just like, I speak coin, and my language is whatever I say, I just have to say the word coin. And so, that stupid idea from a friggin' 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, however old as mine, guys, it stuck, and it never stopped. It's like, some kids never stop freaking sucking their thumb, type of deal.
That's great.
Holy cow! It's just one of the things. People like that kind of stuff, though. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's like Daffy Duck. You know how he splits, or he's got that weird kind of quirk when he talks.
Yeah, sure, guys.
And Lord knows you got a lot of them.
And when you got a few there yourself, guys. You took the damn Ric Flair gimmick to a whole nother level, guys. AJ Styles ain't got nothing on Alex Crawford, guys.
AJ is hilarious. Are you kidding me? Hey, Yaki, you got time?
Sure, guys. Yeah, I got a little time here, guys.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna pay some bills. All right, we're gonna stay on this show. When we come back, more with Yaki Najiu. Look it up, kids.
The 006 podcast.
This portion of the 006 podcast is brought to you by SeatGeek. Go on SeatGeek.com and check out the latest different shows that are going to be in your town and find the best possible value for you. Now, buying tickets for the latest concerts or live events that you want to see has not become any more simpler than now with SeatGeek. So go on to SeatGeek.com and check it out.
You love chocolate.
Chocolate.
You love M&Ms.
Oh, yes.
But your tastes have grown up, and you're just not wild about super sweet milk chocolate, so you've been avoiding M&Ms.
Yeah.
Well, fear no more.
Huh?
M&M's Dark Chocolate to the rescue.
My heroes.
M&M's Dark Chocolate Candies. Available wherever fine candies are sold.
The 006 podcast.
How are things coming along over there with you on Twitch?
I think it's coming along just fine.
A lot of people are saying that like it's kind of pointless to do that show, without viewers. I mean, if people aren't watching you guys live, then why are you doing it live?
Sure, guys, and I understand that point, but at the same time, this reaches a different audience, and it goes up there on the YouTube channel. And I've seen the numbers, and they are low in comparison. But at the same time, they are sharing XTV on Twitch. XTV on Twitch is more of a bonus, guys. So it's a take it or leave it type of deal. It's more of a catalog type of deal where we're building a catalog. We're also building. We're also building stories for XTV guys. We're giving XTV guys a platform because, it's gotten to a point where, and this has been announced. NXTV, the television show or that deal there, it's the flagship show. Okay, and nobody expected that. Okay, so. We're doing this XTV on Twitch because, the whole deal was there was supposed to be, real competition. Not necessarily competition, but there was just, the whole idea behind making NXTV was not for it to stand by itself, but for it to have to stand next to XTV. And, the ball was dropped there. With everybody paying so much attention to NXTV, XTV got neglected. And, I kind of like this show. It's only 3 matches. Anything can happen right there live on the spot. We're on the spot, so everybody has to be on their P's and Q's. We try different things every week to help move the show along. It's 30 to freaking 45 minutes long, so it doesn't take a lot of your time. But that's the whole deal on that. Uh, and who cares if it's done live or not live? Freaking guys, it's the same deal. Okay, whether you're doing it live or whether you're not doing it live, the only difference is people can peek in and out, and that's not really the purpose of doing this here Twitch deal. It's to grow the audience. So right now we're building a catalog. We're freaking extending our XTV library, and a lot of us are of the belief that if you build it, they'll come. Okay, and a lot of people go over there, they peek their head in, and we're still figuring out the venture on Twitch. That deal over there, guys, that was to figure out Twitch. Okay, because you have to be on multiple platforms. I mean, we're out there. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. And we're expanding more and more. So XTV World, it has to reach a further audience than just the constraints of the people who come to YouTube, because there's certain people who get up and go straight to World Star every day. Now we ain't on World Star. We wouldn't mind being on that platform, but the whole deal is uh, we can't friggin' just depend on one thing. Okay.
Yeah, I was hearing rumors of XTV World website next year.
Sure, guys. Yeah, they haven't figured out the domain name, whether it's XTV World or NXTV, because it's going to have to be something that we can definitely brand, and that's not going to be cross branding with nobody else, or there's no kind of confusion. But you know, we'll have one platform whereby you can just reach all our platforms, and a lot like WWE.com. A person can get lost there, freaking all day, just finding things and keeping it updated. That's the whole thing about having your own website. You have to keep it updated. You have to keep things fresh, and we're figuring out some kind of deal there where where we could we can have their pay-per-views, exclusive pay-per-views, maybe live streamed or some type of deal where the pay-per-views are exclusively there, and you would have to be like some kind of a subscriber or some kind of member to be able to check it out. But that's down the line. That's thinking down the line once more and more people get acclimated to XTV World. I'm an ideas guy. Okay, I like to throw out ideas, and Terry Williams and the guys there at the top in the committee guys, the committee, they appreciate my opinion, and I'm in those offices all the time. Okay.
You sure they're not getting sick of you by now?
Well, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are, guys. But at the same time, they appreciate my ideas, and they appreciate what I have to offer. They know that I am XTV, legend, and I've got a lot of great great things in mind, for the kids here in XTV, and for the legends as well. I got to a point where, I was just like, well, it's not really fair. And, I was one of the guys that was fighting for the XTV guys, because I'm like, I mean, hell, what's the damn point in coming to the main roster if you're going to come to the main roster and it's going to be, nothing there, no opportunity for you. And so, we got that women's belt, David B. was holding that men's belt. We're working on, building a bigger roster. We're calling people. We got Jordan Strong. We got Walter. Very happy to have those two on board, and ready to go. And, we're looking to get more XTV favorites, down the line. But, there's all kinds of issues there because of current contracts.
Yeah, there's a limit. There's a limit. That's awesome. That's incredible insight, though.
Sure, guys.
But doing color
Absolutely
commentary
amazing.
with Justin is, I mean, just something that I just never pictured, but it's, it's a no-brainer.
Thanks, guys. Sure. Well, I mean, we've only done three. We got about three in the can, and at this point, I think that Justin and I, have gotten the rhythm down. He enjoys having me out there as well. He tells me all the time, and I enjoy being there with him. He's the freaking legend. Somebody said the other day, they're like, "Man, Yaki, you're outshining Justin over there," and it's like, well, you know, that's not my deal or anything like that. But I mean, my whole point was to add color. Okay, he's the play-by-play guy, and he's straightforward, and he's got to have that. He's got to have that loony out there. For so many years, he had Bob Classic, but of course, Bob's on probation, and he's got his own things that he's got to work on to keep himself you know at the tip top. Until somebody else comes along, and that's I think that more than anything, guys, I think that's you know where we are as far as XTV and the big hype, because hell, they're gonna do Pain versus Killer coming up.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about that. We talked about it on another recording. But yeah,
Sure, guys. Well, the whole deal there is they're gonna have Killer and Pain, and that's a match that's been hyped. That's almost that's like Mayweather Pacquiao. Okay, that's like Mayweather McGregor. Okay, um, Mayweather Pacquiao might be more fitting, considering although Payne is a boxer and Killers wasn't really a boxer ever. He tried it. Lord knows he tried freaking everything. Uh, I love you, Killer. But the whole deal is that Payne's a boxer. He's a knockout machine, and of course, Killer. He's dominating. Here in XTV, and he's dominating in the ring. It's the fight of the century, guys. Okay, it's the fight that everybody wants to see. I'm excited for it.
who's your pick over there? I mean, between those two.
It's so hard because I love DD so darn much, and then freaking Killer. I love him too. I'm really torn, guys. But I mean, if gun to my head, I lean more so towards freaking Pain, because just just because of the knowledge. Okay, and the size differential and the power of his punches, but at the same time, you have time has passed, so you have to wonder, has that gotten to him? Because age catches up with us all, guys. And look at Big Trunks D-Matic. I mean, who I also freaking love to death, but freaking, I mean, talk about a guy who was at the top of his game. Just going back to 2006, when he teamed with freaking Contaru, and freaking, I mean, one of the best tag teams of all time, guys. Uh, like, they probably never lost. Okay, or you could count on one hand how many times they ever lost. Okay, and then you see him now. I mean, he just wrestled up against Bob Classic, and he got freaking squashed. And I mean, it was the main event because I mean, Big Trunks D-Matic could be on a damn freaking main event marquee anywhere in the freaking world, just because of his name, just because of who he is. But at the same time, he ain't got it. Okay, and I think that's probably going to be the last time he's main eventing here. I mean, probably won't be the last time we see him in a match because he's got a temper like God knows what. But I
Yeah,
digress,
I
guys.
gotta bring Big Trunks back. The first time, me and Nick and Sally, the first time we had him over here, complete cluster. Were you there?
I don't. Hell, I've been on so many friggin' damn interviews. They all freaking run together. Hell, I just did a deal with Foxy and Davey over there, just more recent. But you know, okay, Big Trunks is a loose cannon. Uh, he's but hell, that's why people love him. He's unpredictable. You have to have that guy. You have to have a guys like that. And I'm even a big fan of his son. Who also has that. He's got that. And I think he's coming in as a heel. And I think he's going to do a great job as a heel. I wanted to baby face him. Off top, but there, you saw that deal with he had with Justin Jr. That one time, and even though that was a few months ago, that's the impression that he left, and to be honest, freaking Trunks, Big Trunks is training his son to be a freaking heel. So I digress, guys.
Well, Yaki, you're the leader of Team Yaki. I mean, what the hell's the deal with Starboy? What's going on over there?
Starboy, Starboy had to get freaking taken off of TV, guys, because there was no room for him. There's no way for him, and then son of a bitch sat there and got over, guys, and now there's demand for him, and hell, there still ain't nothing for him. So but he's just fine. He wants, of course, he wants to get in the ring, and he's another guy. Starboy's an XTV legend. He's one of the guys who was sitting there to NXTV to help the younger guys, and you look at people like King Kong and Big Trap, and well, I wouldn't say Trap. Because he's more of a newer guy, but still though he's a more familiar character that was there to be for the brand new guys who were just coming there in 2017 to be able to play off of. Okay, and that's why King Kong's on top, because he's so much more experienced than those other guys. Okay, and so that's what you want on top, but a lot of these guys, we're at that point right now where a lot of these guys have gotten, excuse me, guys, they've gotten to the point where they can hold their own in a main event spot, and so so we're getting there, okay. But as far as Starboy, he don't really have a spot right now, and we're pondering on it. I mean, we know how we want to bring them back, or I can't even say that we know, guys, because we've pondered on that too, guys. But at the same time, it's all about new, guys, and Starboy, he's just on the sideline, but that's why he had to get taken out so devastatingly, because we didn't know exactly how he was going to actually come, or when he was going to come back. So that's the deal there.
Well, I mean, I saw him, on TV, saying something. He had the Masterpiece Theater thing going on, and then he was saying some things, but I mean, what the hell's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, it would seem like they're teasing a comeback, like he is coming back.
Well, guys, hell, I don't know everything. I just know that that's been the deal with Starboy, and hell, they might bring him back coming up. Who knows? They probably do have some for him, but that's what I know. That's as far as the whole deal with him being gone, and hell, nobody, that's the whole. It's up in the air. Nobody knows. But if they had found it out or figured it out there, then that would be without my knowledge. Okay, um, but that's the deal.
Well, listen, we know you don't have a whole lot of time. I just wanted to get, something out of you. It's always great. We can go on forever, Yaki. I mean, because you and I, it's like I said. I mean, some of the stuff that we did, the reason that I apologize to you, Yaki, at the beginning is because, um, like I saw something on the spot. Oh yeah, it was the shoot that I did. It was the shoot. Yeah, I was doing a shoot style promo, and we were going all Illuminati, and yeah, I mean, just complete trash. And I was kind of going for like a shoot style, but yeah, it was poorly executed. It was in poor taste. Yeah, and I'm apologizing again.
Well, guys, I accept your apology, and I ain't holding no freaking grudges. It's water under the bridge, guys. I mean, I've moved on with my life. I'm happy to do this with you. All the things that we had done, I feel is great. Whether on good or bad terms, whether you said something good about me or bad about me or whatever the case. I mean, here we are. It's 2018 now, and we're moving into 2019, coming up real soon. And I just think that just live in the moment, guys, and just be happy. Just appreciate right now. Appreciate what you have. Appreciate how so darn special you are, and go out there and use your light and do positive things, guys. Just bring positive light and spread it around. That's all you can do at this point, guys.
Well, I mean, there it is. I mean, you can't end it any better than that. Are you kidding me?
Wonderful. So good to hear from you, Yaki.
Yeah, freaking Sally, you're so freaking quiet over there.
Well, that's because you're so fascinating. I mean, I can just listen and listen to you.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. It's definitely my pleasure. I definitely got to come back sometime soon. Don't keep me too long, guys.
Well, there it is, guys. Yaki Najiu. Give it up.
Thanks, guys.
Give it up. All right. Well, listen, we love you over here, Yaki. You know that.
Love you too, guys.
Yeah.
See you later, sir.
Take it easy. We'll catch you later, kid.
See you guys.
How about it, guys? Yaki Najiu.
I mean,
they said that we weren't going to be able to do it. They said we couldn't pull it off. Are you kidding me? Yaki?
Yeah, still standing. Still standing. We're the smallest podcast, but we're here.
Yeah. It's like that by design, guys. Everybody knows that Justin's the kingfish, and Justin, he better come here. I swear to God, he better come here because I've got a load for him. Justin, he's getting preempted. The guys think that Romy's 2GN is the new thing now. And Romy Rome, who I'd love to have here as well. He's been doing his thing. He's got as many shows as Justin.
Yeah, but it's. I think that the perception is that like with his whole new format and what they're trying to do now, like people kind of tend to forget. Like recently, the Faz episode was brought up, and it's like people have forgotten about those old episodes just because it's just the beginning of 2GN.
Yeah, Romy's great. And yeah, I mean he's gone long format style. He's they used to be like little 10-minute clips, and now they're he's gone long format style. So yeah, and he took and this isn't the first time. This isn't the first time that Romy went over Justin. People have said that before, and we love our Justin. We absolutely love our Justin. That's why I want to have him here. You better get here. I know you're listening to this, because he responded. He says he says that he said something about the King Kong interview that we had over here.
Oh yeah, he was saying that he got snubbed.
I told him. I knew that he would say that. I knew he'd say that. Well, there it is, guys. Thank you, Nick. Keep trying. I want you to go home. I want you to go home and practice. All right, that's what you do. You practice real hard. Okay, practice in the mirror. Okay, Lord knows you got the face for podcasts. All right, Sally, I love you, sweetheart.
I love you too, hon.
All right, we're gonna get out of here, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. Tell us what you think in the comments. Yeah, leave comments. Tell us, if we did good. If the show sucked. Hey, give us a thumbs down. I don't care. Let us know how we're doing over here. But that's the deal. And yeah, until next time, this is Trevelyan Alec. See you, kids.